My beloved brothers and sisters, today I want you to open your heart and listen with your spirit, not just your ears. Because what I am going to speak is not philosophy, not tradition, not opinion. It is the eternal truth that has echoed through time and space since the beginning of creation. God is one. He has no son. He has no father. He is the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Before there was light, He was there. Before the stars were hung in the sky, He existed in perfect majesty. Before man breathed his first breath, God already was. When you close your eyes and meditate upon His greatness, you will see how infinite He is. No mind can contain Him. No word can describe Him. No image can represent Him. He is beyond the imagination of angels, beyond the comprehension of men. The universe cannot hold Him, yet He is closer to you than your own heartbeat. That is the mystery of the one true God. He is both transcendent and intimate. He is the Creator who holds galaxies in His hands, and yet He listens when a single tear falls from your eyes. In this world of confusion, people are seeking power, fame, wealth, and identity. They search in temples, idols, philosophies, and even in their own desires. But the truth remains unchanged. God is not divided. He does not have partners, equals, or rivals. He is not born, nor does He give birth. He is eternal, self-sufficient, and absolute. Every prophet came with this message: worship Him alone, serve Him alone, surrender to Him alone. And when your heart aligns with this oneness, you will find peace that the world cannot offer. You see, human beings have a tendency to limit God within their imagination. They create shapes and stories, trying to define the infinite with finite minds. But God is not like His creation. He does not need a lineage to exist. He does not need a father to begin or a son to continue. He is pure existence itself. He was never created, and He will never cease to be. The earth may crumble, the stars may fade, the oceans may dry up, but He will remain unshaken and unchangeable. When you stand before the one God, you realize your smallness, your fragility, your utter dependence. Yet, in that humility, you find the deepest strength. Because when you believe in the one who never dies, you receive a power that never fades. When you put your trust in the one who needs nothing, you find freedom from every worldly chain. He is the light that never dims, the mercy that never ends, the truth that never changes. Every breath you take, every heartbeat you feel, every sunrise you witness, it all declares His oneness. And what is the beauty of this truth? It unites, it removes confusion, it destroys false pride. It teaches us that no human, no idol, no creature deserves our worship. Only the Creator does. It teaches us that God's perfection has no weakness, no division, no dependency. He does not share His divine nature with anyone. He does not resemble His creation, nor does His creation resemble Him. When you grasp this, your faith becomes pure, your soul becomes strong, and your life gains purpose. My dear friends, when storms come, and they will come, remember this truth. When doubts rise, hold this truth. When the world tempts you to worship names and images, return to this truth. The one who created you is enough for you. He hears without ears. He sees without eyes. He speaks without sound. He commands without movement. And when He wills something to be, it is. That is the majesty of the one true God, without Father, without Son, without equal. He is the only refuge when hearts are broken. He is the only provider when doors are closed. He is the only healer when pain overwhelms. And He asks for nothing but your sincerity, your obedience, your love. So lift your head, stand firm, and declare with faith God is one. None is like Him. He has no father. He has no son. He alone is worthy of worship. God is eternal, self-existent, and beyond all human limitation. He has no beginning and no end. When we think of eternity, our human mind struggles to grasp it, because everything we know has a start and an end. The sun rises and sets, the seasons change, life begins and ends, but God is not bound by these cycles. He existed before time began, before light was created, before the universe took shape. He is not a part of creation. He is the Creator who brought creation into being with a single command. He does not grow old, He does not change, and He does not perish. His existence is not dependent on anything, for He is the source of all existence. Everything that exists owes its being to Him, while He depends on nothing and no one. When we reflect on the concept of eternity, we are reminded of how limited human understanding truly is. We measure life by days, years, and centuries, but God stands outside of time. Time itself is His creation, and it moves according to His will. Before there was day or night, before there was a single breath of life, He was already there, perfect and complete. His knowledge encompasses the past, present, and future in one single vision. To Him, all of history is laid bare, for He is not within time's flow, time flows within Him. That is why He can declare what will happen long before it occurs, for nothing is hidden from His eternal sight. His self-existence is one of the most profound truths that separates Him from all creation. Every living thing requires something to survive: air, water, food, shelter, and love. But God requires none of these. He is independent, free from need, and fully sufficient in Himself. He was not created, He was not born, and He does not die. There was never a time when He was not, and there will never be a time when He will cease to be. Every other being came into existence by His command, but He exists by His own nature. He does not depend on energy, substance, or space, for all of these depend on Him. When we comprehend this even slightly, we begin to understand how small we are before His majesty. So the human mind tries to define God using the limits of what it can see and feel. But God transcends all boundaries. He is not confined by form, place, or time. He is not bound by laws that govern creation, for He is the author of those laws. He is infinite, uncreated, and beyond all measure. When people attempt to compare Him to anything, they reduce His greatness, for there is nothing like Him in existence. He cannot be contained in an image, understood by the intellect, or limited by language. His essence is beyond description, and His being surpasses all comprehension. To understand God's eternality is to free the heart from all illusions. It teaches us that everything else in life is temporary. Our possessions, our achievements, even our bodies. Everything fades, but God remains. When kingdoms fall, when stars burn out, when oceans dry and mountains crumble, He is still there, unchanged and unchanging. He does not sleep, He does not rest, and he does not forget. His power never decreases, his wisdom never fades, and his mercy never ends. Every moment of existence is sustained by him, every breath we take is granted by him, and every beat of the heart is a sign of his ongoing will. The realization that God has no beginning and no end brings both awe and peace to the soul. It means that the one who governs the universe is not subject to decay or limitation. His promises endure forever because he endures forever. His authority cannot be challenged, his existence cannot be denied, and his truth cannot be altered. He was before creation, he is with creation, and he will be after creation. His being is not measured in years or ages, but in timelessness. He is the eternal reality behind every moment, the unseen force behind every motion, and the everlasting presence that holds all things together. The oneness of God eliminates all partners, equals, and intermediaries. He alone deserves worship. From the beginning of time, the message given to every prophet, to every nation, and to every generation has been the same. Worship the one who created you, for there is no other like him. The concept of divine oneness is not a philosophy. It is the foundation of truth itself. When the heart understands that there is only one supreme being, it finds clarity, because all confusion born of divided worship disappears. The human soul was created to recognize one Lord, not many, for in the unity of God lies the unity of existence itself. Every star that shines, every leaf that falls, every breath that fills your lungs, all are signs pointing back to one Creator, one Sustainer, one source of all being. When people assign partners or equals to God, they fragment the very essence of truth. The Creator cannot be compared to his creation, nor can he share his divinity with anyone. He has no associates, no rivals, no companions in his authority. He alone governs the heavens and the earth, and all power belongs to him alone. To claim that others share in his dominion is to misunderstand his perfection. He does not need assistance, for his will alone sustains every atom in existence. His command is absolute, and his decree requires no approval. When he says, "Be," it is. When he decrees a matter, no force in the universe can oppose him. This is the power of the one who needs no partner. The oneness of God is not merely a theological statement, it is a way of seeing reality. It teaches us that everything we depend on ultimately comes from him. Wealth, health, wisdom, and strength are not sources of power, they are gifts from the one who possesses all power. The sun does not shine by its own will, it shines because he commands it to shine. The rain does not fall by accident, it falls by his mercy. The heart does not beat on its own, it beats because he allows it to beat. Every blessing is a reflection of his oneness, a reminder that no one else can claim the right to be worshipped or obeyed in the way he deserves. When a person truly believes that God is one, their worship becomes pure and undivided. They no longer seek approval from creation, but from the Creator. Their prayers are directed only to him, their gratitude belongs only to him, and their hope rests only in him. They do not depend on saints, idols, or intercessors, for the one who made the heart is near enough to hear it. There is no need for intermediaries between the soul and its maker. He is closer than the jugular vein, nearer than any friend, more responsive than any helper. The moment you call upon Him sincerely, He hears. The moment you repent, He forgives. The moment you surrender, He uplifts. That is the beauty of the one who has no partners. He is directly accessible to every heart. Belief in God's oneness frees the mind from fear and superstition. It releases the soul from dependence on powerless things. When a person believes in many powers, they become enslaved to them, seeking help from one and fearing another. But when you realize that there is only one true power behind all things, your heart becomes steady and your life gains direction. You no longer fear people or circumstances because you know everything is in His control. You no longer chase worldly idols because you know they can give you nothing without His permission. This understanding purifies the soul and lifts it to a higher awareness of existence. The oneness of God also establishes justice in human hearts. When you recognize that there is only one true Lord, you understand that no human can be elevated to divine status. No leader, prophet, or saint can claim ownership of the hearts of people. Worship belongs only to God, and servitude to Him alone ensures equality among all beings. There is no hierarchy in His presence, no division of divine power. Every soul stands equally before Him, accountable to the same Creator, judged by the same truth. In that realization, arrogance dissolves, pride fades, and humility blossoms, for all are servants of the one who has no partner and no equal. God is not like His creation. He has no father, no son, and no need of lineage or succession. Every created being comes from something and depends on something, but the Creator depends on nothing. He was not born, for birth belongs to the realm of creation, not to the eternal. He does not reproduce, for reproduction is a sign of limitation and need, and God has no need. He does not come from parents, and He does not bring forth children, because He is complete and perfect within Himself. He has no origin, no descent, no family ties. These are attributes of finite beings, not of the infinite one. The moment you assign to God a human relationship, you confine Him within the boundaries of His creation, and that is something He is far above. Creation is dependent, but the Creator is independent. Everything that exists requires something else to sustain it. The tree needs sunlight, the river needs rain, the body needs air, the mind needs rest. But God does not require sustenance, assistance, or continuity. He is the living, the self-subsisting, who holds all things in existence without effort. His being is not passed on, shared, or inherited. He does not die, so there is no need for succession. He does not weaken, so there is no need for a substitute. He does not leave, so there is no need for replacement. His power is absolute and eternal. He is not a king who passes his throne to another, nor a father who leaves behind descendants to carry on his legacy. His dominion has no end, and His sovereignty has no partner. The human mind is inclined to understand everything through comparison, but God has no equal to compare with. When you say He has a son or a father, you define Him through human terms, as though He were like us. But He is unlike anything in existence. He does not resemble the creatures He made, and they do not resemble Him. Every form, every shape, every idea of limitation is inapplicable to Him. He is the creator of form, yet he has no form. He is the creator of matter, yet he is not made of matter. He is beyond gender, beyond image, beyond imagination. The heavens and the earth cannot contain him, yet he is present everywhere, not by physical proximity, but by his knowledge and power. To understand that God has no father or son is to realize his absolute perfection. A father gives life because his life is limited, he must pass it on. A son inherits because what the father had was temporary. But God does not pass or receive anything because he is the source of all existence. He does not inherit weakness or mortality. He does not grow or evolve, for he is already complete. He does not produce offspring because he is not driven by need or desire. He does not seek companionship because he is never lonely. He does not share his essence because his essence is one and indivisible. His being is pure, absolute, and eternal. Every attribute of God stands beyond human qualities. When he loves, it is not like human love. When he sees, it is not like human sight. When he wills, it is not like human desires. His actions do not come from emotion or need, they come from wisdom and perfection. To say he has a father or son is to project human weakness onto divine perfection. It implies change, growth, and dependency. Concepts that belong to the created world, not to the Creator. He was before all things and remains after all things. His existence is independent of lineage, origin, or succession. When you understand that God is unlike his creation, your worship becomes purer. You stop seeking to visualize him, for you realize no image can capture him. You stop dividing him into forms or relationships, for you realize he is far beyond them. You stop attributing to him the weaknesses of flesh, for you realize he transcends every imperfection. You see that every created being is bound by time, space, and cause, but he is beyond all three. He is the creator of time, but not affected by it. He is the creator of space, but not contained in it. He is the cause of all things, but not caused by anything. This understanding removes confusion from the heart and places faith upon a foundation that cannot be shaken. True peace and clarity come from recognizing and surrendering to the absolute oneness of God. The human heart was created to find rest only in the remembrance of its Creator. As long as it seeks comfort in wealth, power, or relationships, it will remain restless. The soul searches for meaning, wandering through distractions and desires, but it finds fulfillment only when it recognizes that everything belongs to the one who created it. When a person accepts the oneness of God, the confusion of life begins to fade away. They no longer see multiple powers controlling their destiny, nor do they bow to forces that cannot help or harm. Their heart becomes focused, their spirit becomes still, and their purpose becomes clear. Peace is not the absence of hardship, but the presence of trust in the one who controls all things. When you truly believe that there is only one God who governs the universe, you stop fearing what people can do, you stop worrying about what tomorrow holds, and you stop chasing after things that were never meant to satisfy you. You begin to see that everything happens by his wisdom and permission. Success and failure, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, all are part of his divine plan. This realization brings a serenity that no material possession can provide. The heart that knows its Lord is free from the storms of anxiety and the prison of doubt. Clarity also comes from understanding that the oneness of God means unity in all aspects of life. When you worship one Lord, you align every part of your being with His purpose. Your thoughts, words, and actions begin to move in harmony. You stop living for contradictions because you no longer serve two masters. Your priorities become simple: to please the one who created you, to obey His commands, and to trust His plan. This simplicity removes inner conflict and brings a profound sense of balance. The divided heart is full of turmoil, but the heart that submits to one purpose lives in tranquility. The recognition of God's oneness reshapes the way you view the world around you. You begin to see His signs in everything: the sunrise that declares His mercy, the rain that speaks of His provision, the stars that shine by His command. You no longer see life as a random collection of events, but as a carefully designed journey leading you closer to Him. Every trial becomes a test of faith, every blessing a reminder of gratitude. You find purpose in every moment because you understand that the one who made you never acts without reason. The same power that sustains the universe sustains your heart, and that knowledge fills you with unshakable peace. Surrendering to God's oneness also frees you from the weight of pride and self-dependence. You stop believing that your strength or wisdom alone can control your destiny. You learn to submit, not out of weakness, but out of recognition that true power lies in trusting the one who never fails. You find peace in letting go of what you cannot control, because you know that nothing escapes His control. This surrender is not defeat, it is liberation. It allows you to breathe freely, live humbly, and walk confidently, because your trust is placed not in people, but in the Lord of all creation. When a person lives with this awareness, their life reflects harmony and gratitude. They no longer envy what others have, for they understand that every provision comes from one source. They no longer despair when life changes, for they know that the one who gives can give again. They are not swayed by fear or greed, because their heart is anchored in the truth that everything begins and ends with God. This inner peace cannot be bought or taught. It is a gift that flows naturally from the recognition of divine oneness. The oneness of God also unites humanity. When we realize that all of us are created by the same Lord, divisions begin to dissolve. Pride of race, wealth, or status fades, because no one is higher or lower in the sight of the one who created all. This understanding builds compassion, justice, and humility. It teaches that peace in the world begins with peace in the soul, and peace in the soul begins with acknowledging one God. When hearts unite under His oneness, jealousy disappears, hatred loses its power, and love takes its rightful place as the language of creation. ChatGPT said, "Belief in one God purifies faith, strengthens the soul, and gives life divine purpose and direction." When a person declares that there is only one God, they make the most powerful statement a human being can make. It is a declaration of truth, freedom, and clarity. It purifies the heart from confusion, because no longer does the believer look to many sources for help or guidance. Everything becomes focused on the Creator alone. The heart that once ran after the world begins to turn toward its true master. Faith becomes simple and strong, like a steady flame that cannot be extinguished by the winds of doubt or desire. In this purity of belief, the soul finds its rightful place under the mercy and authority of the One who created it. When faith is pure, it removes the stains of pride, idolatry, and dependence on false powers. The believer no longer glorifies human figures, objects, or ideas as sources of ultimate help. They no longer seek favor from those who possess no real power, for they know that all authority belongs to God. This clarity frees the heart from spiritual pollution and gives birth to sincerity. Every act of worship, every word of gratitude, every tear of repentance becomes directed solely to the One who deserves it. Such faith cannot be shaken by the rise and fall of circumstances, because it is rooted in eternal truth. The person who believes in one God stands firm when others fall, remains hopeful when others despair, and walks in light while others stumble in darkness. Belief in one God also strengthens the soul by connecting it to the ultimate source of power. When a person believes in many forces, their strength becomes divided. They feel torn between fear and hope, between dependence and doubt. But when they place all their trust in one Creator, their soul becomes unified and their strength multiplies. They face trials with patience and victory with humility. They understand that every test comes with wisdom, and every blessing carries responsibility. Their courage is not based on arrogance, but on faith, because they know that the One who sustains the heavens and the earth will also sustain them. This strength gives them the power to endure loss, forgive enemies, and rise again after every fall. A heart that believes in one God also gains a deep sense of direction. Life is no longer a series of random events. It becomes a purposeful journey guided by divine wisdom. Every decision, every effort, every prayer takes on meaning. The believer does not drift aimlessly, because their compass always points toward the Creator. They measure success not by wealth or fame, but by obedience and sincerity. They understand that the true purpose of life is not to collect material achievements, but to live in harmony with divine will. This understanding transforms ordinary actions into acts of worship, turning every breath into a form of remembrance. When the belief in oneness settles in the heart, it brings balance to both the inner and outer life. The believer becomes fair in dealings, kind in speech, and honest in conduct, because they know that God watches over all. They do good not for recognition, but for the pleasure of the One who sees everything, even what is hidden. Their life gains discipline, because they no longer live for temporary emotions, but for eternal values. They rise early to thank their Lord. They show patience in difficulty, and they forgive because they seek forgiveness. Such a person becomes a mirror of divine attributes, merciful, just, and humble. This faith also gives life direction beyond this world. It reminds the believer that existence does not end at death, that every action carries weight, and that the true home lies beyond time and space. This awareness inspires them to live with accountability and compassion. They use their time wisely, treat people with kindness, and pursue knowledge that brings them closer to truth. Every goal becomes a step toward the ultimate meeting with their Creator. They live with purpose, die with hopes, and leave behind a legacy of light. Belief in one God is not only a statement of theology, it is a transformation of the entire being. It refines thought, cleanses intention, and molds character. It teaches humility in power, gratitude in success, and patience in suffering. It makes the believer aware that nothing in this world is permanent except the face of the one who created it. This realization gives calmness in chaos and direction in confusion. It becomes the anchor of faith, the strength of the Spirit, and the light that guides every step through this temporary life toward the eternal reality that never fades.